Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon. I am joined by our lead singer, lead guitar player, and Jedi Master out there, Oti1 Kenobi. Oti, how you doing today? You're doing a little riff before we started. Everything okay over there? How you doing today?
I am doing well. As I told you, I fixed my guitars and been playing after 2 years, I think. So I've been in a very rock and roll mood.
Yeah, that's the best way to go. I'm just ready for the new Metallica album to come out in a couple of months. So I'm ready to go. But we're here talking before we get to Star Wars, Oti, I know everyone wants to know who's your pick for the Super Bowl tomorrow. Who's winning? I know you're excited. American football.
I'm not kidding when I say what I'm about to say. If someone were to come through that door with a gun, point it in my head, and tell me, write the two teams that will be playing tomorrow, I could not do it.
Oh, well, hopefully that does not happen because we need a co-host.
There's only one game I'm looking forward towards tomorrow, and it's Barcelona versus Villarreal. That's the only
game. Stay down there in Puerto Rico. You can't say something like that over here tomorrow. The whole States, this is shut down for Super Bowl weekend. And then tomorrow, that's all that's happening.
It's fun. Oh, it's like the biggest. Like I know what the Super Bowl is, but it's funny because someone put a post that, what's bigger, the Super Bowl or the World Cup final?
Yeah,
that's like such an American thing because maybe in the US it's not, but in the rest of the planet, it's the World Cup final.
You can just watch all the World Cup games. So we're packed. It doesn't matter who was playing, and it was on all the channels. There's a World Cup in general. Do you think, I'm going to say, I don't know. Do you think we'll get any Star Wars commercial previews, trailers, sneak peeks at anything? More Mando, Ahsoka? Ahsoka, I don't think, but maybe Mando or something?
I think they're saving Ahsoka for Celebration.
Yeah.
Because it's like a couple months before the show, and that's more or less the timeline. I would bet on Mando, probably.
Yeah, maybe. I think the same thing. Maybe we'll get something Mando. I doubt not the Bad Batch, like the second half of the season. Now they wouldn't show that there. I think it's a different audience.
Being Disney, it's probably gonna be Mando and Ant-Man, which comes out next week.
Yeah, and I think there might be something for Miss Marvel or the Marvels, I should say. The Marvels might get a teaser.
Yeah, the Marvels trailer is coming out during the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll get more.
Now I'll be paying attention.
It's the first couple of minutes. I think in the first half, at least, that's where all the trailers drop usually. So
okay.
All right. So if you guys are here, thanks for joining us. If this is your first time, again, special thanks to all of you joining us for the first time. Make sure you're subscribed to our show so you don't miss any new episodes. We're working on a couple of things. Hopefully get some cool guests to come by soon. Comment down below with any comments you might have on other topics we're talking about Star Wars, and leave us a like. And same thing, if you're listening to this later on the other podcast, same thing, just subscribe, give us a rating, reviews, all that fun stuff.
I'm not going to reveal anything, but I just want to mention to everyone, as calmly as Alberto mentioned it here, he told me about a couple of things. I was like, dude, what?
Yeah, I know. We'll see. I'm still got to make sure everything falls in line.
Yeah. But he was like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what?
We'll talk afterwards. I'll give you a quick, not a lot of updates, but all right, Oti, who's out there before we start? Anyway, if you're in the chats, jump in, say hi.
We have Dale, as always.
Dale,
not as always, since he had to come back. And we also have Brennan, who's becoming a chat regular. So nice.
Thanks to Brennan, thanks to Dale, Mo, all those regulars. A big thanks to all of you guys. This week I've been a little, not want to say down, but just looking sometimes at the numbers of the audio podcasts, things like that. They go up and down, and they've been kind of low. I think it's kind of, you get depressed a little bit. But then you got people
we have Emotional Evolution.
He's been here a few times.
Obviously, Subdude.
So. Thanks for summing, dude. Thanks for being here.
Don't feel down, Alberto. just think that if you weren't doing podcasting, you would be doing less numbers.
Yeah, and I get it. And then I just think about the people that are here, and either I'm talking to you and to the people out there, and just saying the same things in my head. So I'll just get them out there. And whoever wants to listen to them, listens to them. But thank you again to everyone for being here, and to you, Oti. All right. So if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars and Star Wars news.
Star Wars news.
One thing, Oti, that we always talk about, and I kind of always complain about Lucasfilm's marketing. They never promote their shows. When the new shows are coming, they always wait till the previous one is done. But we're starting to get a lot of things. So a lot of them are confirmed, and then some not really confirmed, but with Bad Batch coming, we already have a lot of information about The Mandalorian. There's more stuff that came out today, plus one of the magazines is coming out a few weeks with about 20 pages of Mando stuff. Visions, Vision Season 2 we learned last week, and then a few things we're going to be talking about today. But I'm going to start first with, I guess this is a rumor because it's not confirmed, but during the Hot Mic podcast, Jeff Snyder revealed that one of his sources over at Lucasfilm, or sources for Star Wars, are saying that Watchman and Aquaman actor, I'm going to mess up his name, I'm sorry, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, might be the lead or one of the co-leads in Damon Lindelof's movie. I've been talking about Damon Lindelof's movie for a while. Is it going to be episode 10? Is Rey Skywalker going to be back? All this. There were other reports that the lead first was going to be a black male, then a black female actress, and now we have Yahya in talks. Apparently, he worked obviously with Damon in Watchmen, so it kind of makes sense. This is a win-win for me if it's happening, because he's a great actor. He fits the bill for Star Wars. What do you think? Do you think this might happen, or is this just...
I saw this, and I hope it happens. He's as you mentioned, he's a great actor. I'm very interested in what he would be playing, because I could see it go many different ways. We've seen him play so vastly different roles, from Morpheus in Matrix
that's right,
his character in Watchmen, which I won't get too much into, because if you haven't watched Watchmen,
it's a big
watch
one.
It's a phenomenal show. But he's always good in everything I've seen him in. But what got me thinking is that I've always seen him in such different roles that I can't really pin him as anything. So I could see him as a Jedi. I could see him as a senator. I could see him as a bounty hunter. I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, he was also you're a horror guy, Candyman, right? He was in the
was also in Candyman
remake, and I think he's in talks also to play a character in Marvel in the MCU. I think I saw recently. So yeah, I want to say Power Man, maybe. I'm not sure.
I would like to say that if he is in fact in the show, we also have Carrie-Anne Moss in The Acolyte, so we're due for that Matrix reunion. Yeah, let's bring Keanu Reeves, let's bring Lawrence Fishburne, let's do it.
I mean, Keanu is fan casted for everything. They want him to be Revan. Lawrence Fishburne is in everything, so let's just do it.
It's about time.
Yeah, I want to say I want to fall in the over 50% that this might happen. Mo, thanks for joining. See,
he has arrived.
Mo is here. Who else? I saw someone else in the chat.
We have the Dale Man.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Thanks for being here, the Dale Man. Dale and the Dale Man are now competing for our favorite Dales. Man, what's going on with my hair today? I'm sorry. So yeah, same thing. Is it gonna be? Again, I jumped to Sith and Jedi. So I'm like, it could be one of those, but I don't know. He can play any character. I'm gonna say no to a senator if he's indeed a lead. But again, we don't know anything about what this movie. But you never know, because we don't know where the movie is gonna be.
Maybe it's literally a political thriller where they're trying to pass a bill, and after episode 10.
Yeah.
After episode 9, I mean.
I just hope, and it's difficult not knowing what the movie is gonna be about. After Andor, there was so much talk about this is what Star Wars needs to be. I cannot, in terms of the tone, because Star Wars is a lot of other things, but the care that they take But I hope it's not another very serious kind of movie, because Andor was very serious. I hope they don't go that route. But I know the directors were not. Yes, a lot of silliness. But the director she directed some episode of Miss Marvel, and that's a very different show from Watchmen and all the other ones. So
Yep.
hopefully it's a little lively. But yeah, give me Yahya. I think he's a great actor, and really want to see him in Star Wars. All right, so a little bit more news on this, and this is an actual news. This isn't speculations. The author, new Qi'ra novel from E.K. Johnston. The author revealed the news on her Twitter account titled Crimson Climb, and it releases in October 10th. And it's basically from when Qi'ra gets separated from Han Solo in Coronet Spaceport, taken back to the White Worms. Then here comes a guy by the name of Dryden Voss, leader of the Crimson Dawn, or leader with someone in the shadows, and probably leading all the way up to when Han Solo meets her again. Let's talk first about the book announcement, then maybe talk a little bit about some controversy out there that some people have with the author. More Qi'ra is good always, so give me more Solo. I love everything about Solo. This is a cool time period that we don't know a lot about Qi'ra. We know that she's, with all the comics, so her story has been moving forward. And I think in the Solo novelization, we get a little bit more of her background, what she was doing with Dryden Voss, all the bad things she had to do to get to the point that she was. So when this was announced kind of out of nowhere a couple of days ago, were you excited? Do you want to learn more about Qi'ra? What was she doing in this time period?
I actually was very excited about this. I'm a firm believer of hashtag make Solo 2 happen. So
there you go.
Whatever kinds of stories that tie into that, I'm excited for. And I love the character of Qi'ra. I'll make a confession. I am not up to date with the comics at all. With Crimson Empire, Crimson Reign. I'm not up to date. Yeah, I'm not up to date with any of that. So that actually I'm actually waiting for Hidden Empire to end so I can get into it. Yeah, but I'm excited. I want more Qi'ra, and even if it's in books, I'll gladly take it.
Yeah, the only kind of stories that I follow afterwards were that War of the Bounty Hunters line that had her return. I did that, but I haven't done any of the others. Just too much. She's now fighting Vader and all this stuff, and wants to bring down Palpatine. Yeah, this is too much. She was cool, doing what she was doing. I think this is too much, but I haven't read them, so I can't say. But this time
she's in bed with the Knights of Ren. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should check them out, because there's a lot of things from Star Wars that I love in this new comic line, or 2 or 3 that they've done. So it might be interesting. It's surprising to me that
it's 3. It's 3.
That they went with E.K. Johnston, because who is it? Kevin Scott has been, not Kevin, Charles Soule has been writing a lot of her stories, and I think he came out on Twitter last year and said that he had this kind of 4 structural arc for Qi'ra's story. So he seems very in tune with the character. So I'm surprised that they went with a different author for this novel. But this is a cool time period. There's a line in Solo where she says, "You don't know what I had to do to get to the point that I am now," basically. And it's like, well, let's see that. We know it wasn't, if you got to go through the ranks, she was basically sold into slavery when Dryden Voss got her, and then she had to escape and kill someone. So it's a lot of cool story in there, possibly.
I want to throw a question to you. Do you think this might be, what if Charles is writing something and this is just a tie into
that? From what Charles is doing now, or is it something else that might be coming?
No. I'm saying Charles's comics end now with I mean, he'll write future comics, but this story ends in Hidden Empire. What if he's actually writing a Qi'ra book and this is just like a prelude to that?
Okay, I'm gonna say no.
Okay, no, it's probably
I don't know. Yeah,
but
I don't know.
It'd be interesting if this is like I don't want to say like a promo for something else, but it'd be interesting if they're doing something else with Qi'ra beyond this.
Then it could be. As soon as I said no, then I thought E.K. Johnston wrote 3 books about Padme, So it wouldn't be something new that they start with a character that's well known as light and then kind of extrapolate from that. So if this is kind of the prequel for something to come afterwards, and then Charles Soule does it or whoever, then maybe it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for all the things that Star Wars has done, especially in the books and comics. But again,
What's
I'm
the
very interested.
controversy with-
So I'm gonna say I'm not 100% on board. Not on board. That sounds like I'm taking sides. Like I don't know exactly what's happening. I'll admit I follow E.K. Johnson on Twitter. I follow a lot of the Star Wars authors just to kind of get news when they come. I've only read from her the first or the Padme books, Queen Shadow, I think it is.
Mhm.
And I enjoyed it.
Good.
I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I didn't do the other ones just because the Harry Potter was coming out, a lot of stuff. But I enjoyed it. Not a lot of positive or negative to say about it. It's a cool book. Go from there. From Jo's writing style, a lot of people complain or view her writing style as very character-oriented with no plot. So it's
Okay.
get ready for a book that doesn't go anywhere. Just you're with a character and that's it. And that's up to the reader's kind of taste. But more in line of she's been called out for badly representing certain demographics. And when she gets called out on Twitter or something, she doubles down or blocks, doesn't communicate back, doesn't take responsibility for what she wrote, things of that nature. I can't say because I don't follow her that much to know what everything is going. So I understand if people are saying that they have issues with her in that sense and they don't want her writing this character that people like. I understand, but I don't follow all that controversy to have 2 cents to say about it. So
Okay.
I just wanted to mention it out there because it is out there. A lot of people were, yay, Qi'ra, no, the writer. So
Okay. No, I did. Honestly, I didn't see any of this. I just saw people who don't like her as an author and were like, "Oh, it's boring."
yeah,
But,
your friend
okay.
Buck might give you some more information. You
I-
guys
I-
always
he's-
going back and forth on Twitter, so he might
Bug,
give you
Bug
something.
is one of the people I saw complaining.
Okay,
But Bug complains about everything.
I know it's. We keep having him on the show. We'll have him soon at some point. For Mando, we might get him. All right, but again, October 10th, new Qi'ra, and around that time, I think it's when Phase 3 of the High Republic is coming back. So a lot of
Oh,
cool
I'm not
Star
gonna
Wars
read
books.
it.
No, I know. Did you finally get Convergence, or are you still looking?
I found it.
Okay. So our High Republic episode is still on track for the end of the month. Hopefully, just tell me if you finish by then. All right. So our third news item, and this is very cool. Also, now we're moving to the TV side, and it is that the Acolyte writers' room added House of the Dragon writer Charmaine the Grat, the Grat, and this was hidden inside a story by the Hollywood Reporter. She was there promoting a movie she's doing, and it was revealed that she worked on The Acolyte as a writer and an executive producer, and she wrote episode 5 of House of the Dragon, titled "We Light the Way," which was the wedding episode between Rhaenyra and Lenor, where everything goes to hell. So that was a great episode. So this is a great find for Star Wars, a big surprise, and gets me extremely more excited for The Acolyte if that was ever possible. But Oti, we all know how much you love House of the Dragon. Is this a surprise, or how happy are you that we're getting someone with that caliber helping write a Star Wars?
I'm literally just finding out about this, so I'm excited.
Breaking news.
House of the Dragon is probably one of my favorite shows. Like I am in love with that first season, and I can't wait for more. And that episode was wild.
Yes.
So if she wants to write a Star Wars, go right ahead.
Yeah, she was part of the writers' room, so I don't know if she'll get to write her own episode, but she was part, I'm guessing, writers' room, helping come up with the whole story, and that's even better. And I'm sure she'll have 1 or 2 episodes that she's credited. So very excited for this. House of the Dragon, I love almost everything, and like you said, from that episode on, everything just was on a high. So she's credited for that, writing that episode. I'm really excited for this. All right, so The Acolyte, which is at the end of the High Republic, and our next story has also to do with the High Republic in a little lighter tone, I would say. And we got finally more confirmation about Young Jedi Adventures, the release date. It was just last week we said that Vision Season 2 was dropping on May 4th. We won't be the only thing we'll be watching on Star Wars Day. The first High Republic TV show will be the animated Young Jedi Adventure. It follows Jedi younglings as they study the ways of the Force, explore the galaxy, help citizens and creatures in need. Let me read that again. Help citizens and creatures in need and learn valuable skills needed to become Jedi along the way. And the first Star Wars series created for preschoolers, and we'll discuss this in a minute, but our main characters we saw there, apart from Yoda, are Jedi younglings Kai, Liz, and everyone's favorite blue creature, Nubs, and their friends Nash and droid RJ-83. I gotta show that again because I just can't stop looking at little Nubs. I want everything. Are you gonna consume, Oti? You're gonna be a consumer and get everything Nubs when it comes out? Because I will.
I'll probably get something Nubs, definitely. if Hot Toys wants to make like what they did with Grogu, I'll buy it. Maybe.
Oh, that would be nice.
I don't know. Let's see. By the way,
we just lost your audio, so yeah.
Before we continue with this story, we have official confirmation that the Dale Man is in fact Dale.
Ooh, double Dale. We're getting double Dale.
Yeah, we have double Dale. And Dale, by the way, he has not seen House of the Dragon, and I will implore you to watch it because it's a phenomenal show.
Yes, go watch it and then come back and watch all our reviews about it.
Oh my god.
So Oti, I think we talked about Young Jedi Adventures a long time ago when it was announced. I was really excited for it. It's the High Republic, so we wanted something High Republic, more animated. I was hoping that this was, maybe I was talking with our friend Maggie, I think, because she loves all of the Star Trek shows, and I think Star Trek's Lower Decks. It's an animated show, or not low. They have another one, not Lower Decks. So anyway, which is kind of young adults, kind of oriented, explores a lot of different things. Yeah, one of those. I was hoping that this might be in that route, but they're going a lot younger, preschoolers. This is no older than 5 or 6 years old, but the animation style looks pretty cool. At least those pictures that we got. What the show's gonna be. Prodigies, thanks. So what are your thoughts now that we know a little bit more about Young Jedi Adventures?
I'm gonna be like 1,000% honest here. I don't think the show is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the show is for you. I don't think the show is for most people watching us. Will I give it a chance? 100%. Like day one. I won't wake up at 6 a.m. or 3 a.m. to watch it, but I'll 100% give it a chance. But I'm really expecting this to be like Sesame Street for in Star Wars.
Sure.
Like I'm expecting them to learn the ABCs. I'm expecting them to learn how to add and subtract, I guess. Yeah, that's the only expectations I have for the show. If it turns out to be like Clone Wars Junior or something, awesome. But I have really no high expectations for this.
In a similar boat. I don't think it's something we'll be here talking about every week and breaking down. I think and that's fine. It's not a show for us. Like I say, it's the first Star Wars show for preschoolers, and they need it. It's their first introduction to Star Wars. I'm very happy that they're dropping this on Disney Plus, and I think Disney Junior also. And it's not just on the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel. This is what they're doing with that creature thing that they have. They gotta put more eyes on it. So I'm glad that they're gonna put it on Disney Plus. I hope that they don't care about canon. Is what I don't want people saying, well, this breaks canon. Kids, preschoolers don't care. They don't care that Marchion Rowe brought down Starlight Deacon. But I want to see those guys going against Marchion Rowe every week. ABCs of being a Jedi. Yeah, Dale, that's fine.
But how could they beat Marchion Rowe if he's supposed to be destroying?
Yeah, I don't care. I want to see that every week. I want to see them going against the Drengir and giving them some fruit, and they're fine. I want to see them
The,
having adventures
tri-
with Loden Greatstorm. I want all of that. I don't care about canon. I just want to have them having fun in the High Republic.
the Drengir would actually be a great villain for the show because the Drengir,
Yeah.
if you think about it, they're kind of silly. So
They are pretty.
having it in here being like, oh, meat.
Yeah.
So weird.
Here, Mr. Drangier, have some fake meat. I'm gonna love it in that sense. So I'll watch it, but
And that's how we learned how to share.
and then they'll plant some because we gotta keep the environment clean. And yeah, just Markian Road just tripping on himself, and the nameless comes around, and they're just hanging around with it, with a little leash, just walking him around. That's what I want. Just give me some fun in Star Wars. It's needed. I was gonna say something
If
else
the
about.
nameless shows up, the show turns into something completely different.
Oh yes, but we don't know if how long the episodes are, how many we're getting, if this is all dropping the same day as Visions is, or if we get one every week. We don't know. I'm guessing one every week, and we'll see how it goes. But just give me more knobs. I want something knobs. I don't know what, but at least one thing. All right, I think that kind of does it for Star Wars news. There were some new Mandalorian Season 3 pictures that came out yesterday and today. Very quick kind of snippets, but nothing to kind of break down right now.
No.
All right, so
I got excited when I saw them, but there's really not much to it.
they're pretty cool. We got Bo-Katan back with Mando, with little Grogu in a planet we won't say, probably some Dari Mandalore or something like that. But here we are. Let's start Star Wars on TV.
Star Wars on TV.
Wars on TV. The Bad Batch episode 7 and 8 came out. The Clone Conspiracy and Truth and Consequences, if I'm not mistaken. We talked this past like 3 or 4 weeks that even though we've gotten okay episodes, they have been the standalone kind of episodic. We haven't gotten back to the main storyline or what has happened to the Republic and the galaxy after the events of season 1. And here we are. Clones are getting replaced. We've talked about, I'm going to start with this because a couple of weeks ago I was here complaining that clones are waking up, they're seeing what the Empire is doing, they're not in line with it, what's going on. We all said, I had said that every clone went berserk after Order 66. You were, no, they were waking up from it. It was an order, they don't agree with it. And here we got a lot more into it. Admiral Rampart wants to get rid of the clones, kind of hide under the table everything that has happened. Don't look here, nothing to see here over at Kamino. Wants to bring the Imperial Stormtroopers, but we have the return of fan favorite Rio Chuchi. If you've watched the Clone Wars, the Senator, and she's like, no, we gotta, what a name. We gotta look out for our clone brothers. They helped us out during the war. We talked a little bit before we started. These were pretty great episodes. Were they the best of the series so far that we hear every week?
I don't know, but they were pretty good. We were joking on through the DMs. After every episode, Bad Batch just changed the game. Yeah. It's okay. These were pretty good. I loved how real world it got with the war is over. What do we do with the clones? And our case, what do we do with our bets? And I love Rampart's attitude that like, we can't revitalize the army and help the veterans.
Yeah,
can't do that.
There's some money. It's not in the budget.
It's not in the budget. I really love those things. So I think I like the first episode more. I love the intrigue and figuring out what's going on. But I think the last minutes of the second episode were just awesome.
Yeah, so that's just funny also because you have when Rio Chuchi goes to the clone bar. I love that we have that droid bar in Mandalorian. Now we have the clone bar here.
Clone bar.
Yeah, when she goes there to try to get them, hey, we're gonna fight for your pension so you can retire, all this stuff. And the clones are, no, we want to fight the insurgents and keep fighting. And she said, oh, okay, we got to do something. But the insurgents are the rebels. They're the good guys. You want to go fight the good guys, but that's fine. And also when she's in the Senate saying, no, they defended us in the war. They saved our planet. And I'm over here, yeah, and they kill all the Jedi and mess everything up. But don't worry about that. But a very cool first episode. We got finally the return of Captain Rex.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't the first episode. Rex is there, but Rampart hired another clone to go kill the clones that might open their mouth. I thought it was going to be Cross. And who is it?
I thought they said it wasn't a clone. Didn't he say something like that? Like,
I think he said we're not brothers or something.
I'm taking it like he's something they're experimenting with. Remember, we're gonna go to Mount Tantus where they're doing.
We'll see. Anyway, someone that looks like a clone, and they were saying, where is a clone killing clones? But a lot of political intrigue in that first episode, or all of it. We had the return of Rex that saves them at the end. And what was in this episode? I can't remember if it was the first episode, the second one, when Rio goes to meet with, I think it was with Bail Organa to tell her, and he's like, "Oh, do we need armed security?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got shot at like 2 hours ago. Yeah, I need armed security everywhere I go."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that first episode was pretty great, and then the second one we get more into it. They have the evidence that Rampart was responsible for shooting down Kamino, which was great to get that there when Kamino, it's built to go underwater. Yeah. It's survived storms for generations, and now all of a sudden, why are you alive? Oh, I was on another ship when it happened. Rampart, man, that's one of those villains that you love to hate.
There's a lot of Ramparts in the world. I love the whole thing going into his Star Destroyer to get the evidence while we had Chuchi doing her thing. That was fun. Mm-hmm. But we gotta talk about.
We'll go to the Senate in a minute. So again, we go to one thing that I said I don't like. You don't mind it. It's when they're just using their stun guns against the other clones, and then they shoot down. What?
They shoot what?
There was a ship. There was a starship was coming, and Wrecker just got on his gun and shoot it down and killed whoever was in there. So don't give me that.
I mean, you're putting too much stock into it. You know why it is. Like, if it's a ship, you can't see who's dying.
I know. I think just seeing the little ring is too slow. And just keep going. They're trying to kill you. Defend yourself. Anyway, but they just freaking crash the Star Destroyer into the shipyard.
There's a line that I loved where Tech is like, "Oh, I miscalculated by 6 meters. It's so embarrassing. It's like 18 feet."
And I'm like, you didn't do anything really. Just kind of maneuver so it didn't crash too hard. But all right, let's go to the Senate. What happened at the Senate?
As you mentioned, Chuchi gets the evidence, plays the CCTV thing, and shows everyone how the Empire decimated Taboka City, which again, kind of hard to watch again. By the way, I loved how they added context to that, showing Omega's point of view, because we never got that. It was like, oh yeah, our home's the store, let's go. And Omega's like, that's where I grew up. Like, what the hell? So I like that. And when they play it, Omega's like looking in horror because she's reliving it. But then it's awesome because not only did we get Palpatine, we get peak Palpatine. Because Palpatine shows up, and as we mentioned, there's political intrigue. They're trying to pass a bill in the Senate to phase out the clones and bring in a new military, which everyone's like, why do we need a new military? But whatever. And it's the most Palpatine thing, because even when he loses, he wins. And he's constantly improvising, and he's like, I'm so disturbed by these images. And you know what? You know what disturbs me the most? The clones. They follow blindly. And it's like, oh no.
You orchestrated everything.
I'm not really sure he orchestrated everything, but that's just his thing. Everything plays out in a way that benefits him in some way, and he can manipulate everything to his advantage. For me, that's like my favorite Palpatine thing.
Mm-hmm. He didn't kind of orchestrate everything, but had a plan in case it went sideways. If this happens, I'm just gonna again read Darth Plagueis. You get a lot of that in there.
It always shocks me when everyone's like, the Rise of Skywalker doesn't make sense. He first wants Rey, then he wants to kill her, then he wants her to kill him. Yeah, that's Palpatine. He's constantly going like, you fell into my trap. Let me
fix it over here on post.
Yeah.
It was great because I think the first episode, episode 7, they're like, where's the Emperor? We haven't seen them in I don't know how long. And he's just sitting down there.
He hasn't been here in months. And he pops up awesomely.
And looking great.
Yeah, the design looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead.
No, go. I'm still thinking.
No, just gonna say, kind of repeat what you said. There's the way he played Rampart was peak Palpatine, like take him away, this is all your fault. But this just proves that we do need that army of non-clones because these clones are not following what they're supposed to do. So let's vote.
Their own home.
Yeah, Rampart, you're evil, but you brought up what's the mean? The worst person you know finally made a good point. So that was Palpatine at that point. Rampart, he's evil. We had a good idea about this Imperial Stormtrooper, so let's vote. And I'm just gonna say that it passed.
I do want to mention that I love how consistent they've been with the whole. The Senate still has power. They're still and Palpatine is still, I think, figuring out how to play this game because he's leaving it up to the Senate to decide. He manipulates everything into his advantage, of course. But I think the very obvious way to play this is that Chuchi doesn't want to give the votes to win. We take her out and we replace her with someone else. And here it's a bit differently. Like Palpatine loses, but finds a way to turn it into a win for him, and I love that. Yeah,
and I love Mas Amida. Through the whole 2 episodes, he's with Rampart. Is this done? Are you sure we're gonna get this? Are you taking care? Yeah, everything's taken care of. As soon as he messed up, ooh no, Rampart's all on you.
But he tells him at the very beginning, if this does not pass, you're the one I'm not gonna be the one to pay for it.
Yeah.
So again, it's what happens when you play ball with the Empire. You're not gonna win.
You're not gonna win. You gotta take them out. You're like, everyone gives Mace Windu crap, but he was right when he wanted to go against the Jedi teachings and kind of kill Palpatine. It's like he controls the Senate. A trial is not gonna work, and we've seen that it doesn't. All right, so from there we go to a big reveal that I wasn't expecting. Echo deciding to leave the Bad Batch, stay with Rex, and help the clones figure out their future. And of course, this breaks Omega's heart. We're a team, we're a crew, and she has to say goodbye. Very heart-wrenching, very emotional for this series. To happen kind of mid-season, I was surprised, but I also understand why Echo would do something like that and say, hey, I grew up with all these people, so I gotta do my part in helping them stay with Rex, who saved me. Surprised that this happened at this point in the season?
I actually was very surprised about it, and I'm not shocked this happened because they set it up at the beginning of the season where he wants to do more, and Rex gives him a chance to do that. So. But I'm shocked. I really was not expecting him to leave the batch. Like when it happened, it made sense, but I was like, wait, what? I was like Omega, and it was so when they leave, they're like, bye, Echo, and
it was. We gotta go. What? It was pretty quick. Yeah. And I think they did a great thing. They set it up great this season because there were more episodes of Omega connecting with Echo that they've been in the past. And she spent a lot of time of this season with Echo to make it resonate a little bit more when they say goodbye, and she kind of feeling sad about it. So it's gonna be interesting is how this goes moving forward for her, how she affects seeing that people in her life might leave for different reasons. If she thinks that maybe the other crew from the Bad Batch might also leave her, which again, she had to leave her home. She lost her home, might be having those feelings of loss. How this is going to affect her.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a question for you, Otis. Something I was watching these episodes and really enjoying them. This popped into my head. So a lot of people love this series. We like it. It's not our top, but there's a lot of people online that love the Bad Batch. Is some of their favorite Star Wars very animated series, and a lot of people have kind of, it's not for me. Have kind of left it. Do you think the series has an issue with having these kind of multiple episodes, episode a week or adventure of the week type of episode that are kind of geared to a younger crowd, more casual fans? Like I said, my daughter watches those episodes. She really enjoyed them. She liked these ones, but she wasn't really into them as much as the other ones. And then they hit us with a couple of episodes like this, very political, more adult for older fans that kind of like more the serialized storytelling, but that they might have walked out from the series a little bit earlier because they didn't connect with the episodic type of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, like episodic TV. I don't want to say it's dying because it's not. There's a lot of episodic things out there, but I think we're getting used to more serialized things. And Mando has been pretty episodic, so but it's a shorter season, so you don't really feel it as much. But again, I'll mention what I've been saying these past couple of weeks. It's like watching the Clone Wars. Like if you sit down and watch one episode week by week, you're gonna be like, "What is this? Like, when are we getting to the main story?" And I think if in like, I don't know, 10 years when this show is over, if someone were to sit down and tell you watch these episodes, like the core of the story, you'd be like, "This is amazing. This is amazing," because we've talked about it. When this show is good, it's great.
Yeah.
And so I think it kind of has to do with that. Like I mentioned it, like with Clone Wars, a lot of people watched it relatively recently, and they just watched the arcs that they found in whatever site that had specific orders to watching the Clone Wars. And I mean, if I only watched the Mandalore things and the Mortis things, I'd be like, this is the best Star Wars thing ever. But I remember when it was coming out and it wasn't. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, and I was thinking about that because even Rebels, but Clone Wars more kind of makes more to a point because it's like 7 seasons, 20 episodes. So they had more to play around with. But also I think when Clone Wars came out, a lot of people that connected with it were younger fans, right? And Clone Wars really didn't get, and I might be wrong, because I watched Clone Wars when it came out and then I just left it for whatever reason and came back when it was almost over and started again around season 4. I think around season 4 when Darth Maul comes back, or even season 3 to season 4, and then we start getting Mortis and all those more serious episodes. The first 3 seasons weren't as epic, I guess, as people might want to remember. And I might be wrong because I don't remember them. But also, we were younger, especially all the Clone Wars fans that grew up with them were 10 to 12, 14 when it was coming out. So it's a different generation that maybe if the Clone Wars comes out now, we'll probably have the same complaints that some people are having with the Bad Batch. So I think but I think it's for the audience that it's geared to. Like kids, and my daughter doesn't care. It's a fun episode, we'll just go with it. So I think it depends. Maybe I'm too old for it, but I don't know.
It's weird because the Bad Batch is a Clone Wars sequel. So you would think it's geared to that group, but it's really geared to the group Clone Wars was geared to when it came out.
Which are now older and can kind of relate. Like you say, okay, we've seen stuff like this in Clone Wars. It makes sense for older people like myself and even some older fans. They might be, what's the story? Which is the thing is, what's the story? I don't care about tech racing, which is a pretty cool episode, but
but what I'm saying is that the Bad Batch, I think the people my age who Clone Wars was geared to when it came out, we think that the Bad Batch is made for us, and it's not. It's made for people who were our age when Clone Wars came out.
All right, anyway, pretty cool episodes. I'm gonna guess the next couple might just be episodes of the week, which are fine. Especially next one is going to be interesting to see how Omega deals with everything that happened on this one, and we'll go from there.
fighting some weird cat, and I'll mention it.
Maybe we'll get Crosser back. Where's Crosser? I haven't seen my guy in
It's been a
5
while.
weeks.
It's been a while.
Yeah. And we'll get some more with them. And it's going to be interesting. Do you think Rampart is gone? Thank you for your service. And we get another villain in the coming weeks? Or is he coming back? They just kind of, this is just visual. So people think we took you out of the scenes while you're working behind.
I'm of two minds, and they're completely contradictory. I could see them being like, hey, this is just for appearances, or doing something different with you. But I could also see them being like, your failure was not bombing Tipoca City. It was not hiding it good enough. So no, you're screwed.
Yeah, I hope he's screwed.
Could you see them pull Khaled Rampart?
No, I don't.
Nah, he's too evil. I think he's too evil.
There's a
But
difference.
Khaled was pretty evil.
Khaled was evil, but he handled things himself. He was fighting the rebels hand to hand, all that. Rampart is just hiding in his Star Destroyer, giving orders. I don't see them. I don't know. He's not compelling enough.
I love Rampart. He's a loser.
I think if you leave him for season 3 or 4, then you can do the turn. To do it now, it's like, come on, Rampart.
I don't know if this show is gonna have 4 seasons. We'll see.
I hope not. I'm guessing. I'm gonna guess 3.
No, don't say that, Alberto. People love this show.
I know, but
you could stop watching it.
No, I don't mind watching it. I enjoy it.
Okay.
And it's not just Bad Batch. I wish that Mandalorian ended already with season 4 or something. I'm someone that I don't love long series that have 6, 7, 8 seasons. To me, they lose what they are about. So that's why I love shorter series. Give me 3, 4, 5 seasons at the most. But that's just my preference. They want to keep going. They don't have to cater to me, because a lot of people prefer this to go for longer seasons.
Yeah.
What's Brennan?
By the way, Brennan's commenting that the parallels between Palpatine throwing Rampart under the bus are similar to Hitler doing the same to his early supporters, and I agree. And it's something we see from fascism constantly. Like, just watch the previous president and where his closest allies are at the beginning are now in terms of their relationship with him. They're gone. They're not friends anymore.
And okay, if it sounded harsh, I want to know where this story is heading. Because it's heading to A New Hope, but like I said before, we've gotten so many stories in this time period that I just want to move away from that. And that's where I'm kind of going at. Same for the Mandalorian. It's where the story is going. If he's there to reclaim Mandalore, then that can happen in this season, and we don't need more. But if the story is for something else, then all right. But don't give me 6, 7, 8 seasons. I just want new. I want something different. All right. Anything else? High Republic. There you go. Young Jedi Adventure. But we're getting the Acolyte. And then you're going to see me. Give me 7 Acolyte seasons.
All right. No, I'm done. Let's go to the other.
All right. So that kind of brings an end to our talk on Star Wars in general. Again, we will have more in the coming weeks with Star Wars. We're getting more news. We have that Mandalorian report coming out soon, plus Mando's coming out in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. We'll start getting the Mandalorian season 3, plus Star Wars Celebrations around the corner. But now we turn to another little segment where we turn away from Star Wars and we talk about something else. Another series that had 2 episodes this week, and it's A World Between Fandoms. Also, before we start with The Last of Us, which I said gave us 2 great episodes, so another series that delivered 2 great episodes. You know how much I talk here about doing my Doctor Who rewatch, trying to get you to try it again, but all that, I'm done. I finished it. I'm up to date. I only have 1 episode left, The Power of the Doctor, but it's not on HBO Max. For some reason, the final episode when the Doctor regenerates back to David Tennant is not on HBO Max. I think I found it online. I'll watch that later. But for everything that's out there, I'm caught up. finally, I think it took me about a year to the whole thing.
You
Oof.
started from Eccleston?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah,
So you
from
did a
EXO
full.
series. Yeah, 13 seasons. I just told you how much I hate long seasons. I mean, long series are 13, but
I've,
I think
you
it's
know
like
what?
three every.
No, go ahead. Go
Go.
ahead.
I'm just gonna say it's almost like three seasons because after 3 seasons the Doctor regenerates and then it kind of starts over with new stories, new companions, and they kind of connect with the previous one where it feels refreshed.
Okay. I'm one of those people who love that shows are no longer 24 episodes, 12
Yeah,
episodes
yes.
or shorter.
Mm.
I love that. So that's also another element on why it's so hard for me to watch Doctor Who,
Doctor
because the
Who.
seasons are long.
It's like 13 episodes
That's too long for me.
per season. This last one was only 7, and then with Power the Doctor will be 8. And I'll just say, not my favorite Doctor, unfortunately, Jodie
Favorite
Whittaker.
Chris? Okay.
Yes. And I had it in the back of my head. I don't know if she can pull it off because Ava Chris has a presence there. But I'm not blaming her. I think the writing wasn't the best for her. It didn't have that Doctor Who feel in a lot of episodes for the big majority. It was very grounded, and things that I love about Doctor Who weren't present.
Okay.
I'm not blaming her. I think it's more the writing and the direction they took with her stories. I think it wasn't my favorite. She's a great actress. I love her. So maybe with a different writer, if she wants to come and do Ava Chris, I'll support it.
I'll say this, and this is a recommendation for you if you haven't watched it. There's a show, I think it's on Netflix, with David Tennant, Jodie Whittaker, Olivia Colman, called Broadchurch. It's a phenomenal show. If you guys have not watched that show, go check it out because it's amazing.
Watch Broadchurch. I've watched it twice. Breaks my heart every time. I even watched the American version when it came out. I think
there's
on
an
Fox.
American version.
Yes, I was lucky enough to watch Broadchurch first, the first season, before the American version came out. I can't remember the name of it. Might even be called. It's not called Broadchurch, and they changed the. I'm not gonna reveal it here, but the finale, basically, who does the crime? They changed it in the American version.
Of the first 2 seasons.
The first one. They only do the first season. The American version is the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the original show, the 2 seasons are like one story.
Yeah. The trial is the second season, which wasn't my favorite. Season 3 was pretty good also.
Good. Yeah, season 3 was
it was good.
And that was the first show I watched during the pandemic, before Tiger King.
Was there a before Tiger King? Because I don't remember. Tiger King took over everything. And I
remember that lockdown in Puerto Rico started before the US, because here we believe in science. But yeah,
in Florida, what science? I don't know. That's a made-up word.
Yep.
All right, okay. The Last of Us. We gotta jump into it. 2 episodes because we got episode 5 yesterday. Didn't compare. I just see. Oh, there it is. I'm looking at the last Jedi. The Last of Us. So the previous episode 3, the one everyone loved with Bill and Frank, I forgot to mention, I love seeing how very similar to Omega, and it's funny, these 2 shows kind of correlate a little bit. Ellie seeing the world for the first time because she's never been out of that QC, kind of being in the car for the first time, not knowing that she has to put a seatbelt on, and then seeing the airplane. Oh, you flew in one of those? How does that work? I've never been on a plane, so seeing those kind of bright eyes, kind of, oh man, it's cool, entertaining, at the same time heartbreaking. And you said it, I don't know how many times, you keep saying it's gonna get worse. It got pretty bad, especially the ending of yesterday's episode.
I'll say this:
it's gonna get worse. No, stop saying that.
I actually just finished playing the first game today.
Mm-hmm.
I replayed it a billion times. Replayed it and started playing the second one, and it's funny, you pick up on different things after watching the show. And there's a moment near the end of the game where they're walking and they're like, oh, isn't it weird that I've never been on a plane? And I'm like, oh, like in the show where she talks about flying.
But I love last week episode, just pretty different again from the previous one, where it starts very slow. You're just getting away from Bill and Sam's house. The joke book that everyone loves. I love all the puns.
That's in the game also.
I saw all the videos comparing everything that happens in that Bronco with the magazine, and hey, put that away, put that away.
That's yeah.
But I love how we keep building that relationship, right? You're not family, you're cargo and all that, but then going back and forth doing the jokes and laughing. No, I'm not laughing. No, I'm losing it. So there's there because he, of course, I'm not breaking ground here. It's has that wall up because of his daughter dying, and now having to deal with a same age girl. We're starting to loosen it up, which kind of. Oh,
Lauren's
Lauren!
here. Lauren, I hope
doing,
you're
Lauren?
doing well.
Yeah, our friend Lauren. But yeah, that episode was great. And then again, she's trying to read a map. I try to read maps. I can a little bit, but like you said, it's my second day on a car. I don't know where the hell we're going.
I love that back and forth when they're escaping. He's like, "Where do we go?" And she's like, "Dude, I'm figuring this out."
Yeah, where's north? I think it's here. And then seeing that QC all empty, what the hell happened? And as soon as that guy shows up, help me! And like, no, just run him over. You know he's evil.
And Joel's later like, "Oh, I've been on both sides of that."
Oh.
And yeah,
yeah.
So,
which is
man, I just want to say I love Joel. There's something very interesting they're doing in the show that I think it's more obvious than in the game. That you're seeing Ellie humanize Joel,
sure.
But B, you're seeing Joel dehumanize.
And then we just lose Oti. Hopefully, he comes back in a minute. But yes, we're seeing Ellie being dehumanized by everything she's seeing out in the world. Every time, I want to see what car, what truck this is. I just crush all the cars. I want to see tanks, and then start seeing all the destruction, the pit with all the dead bodies there. It's hard. It's hard watching that as a parent myself, seeing someone at that age have to go through all that, and then there he is. He's back. You're back.
I have no idea what happened.
Did we lose you again? Come on, that's this connection. It's messed up. Maybe mine also. There's a storm outside.
Can you see me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, you're there.
Okay. Let's see what happens. I have no idea what's happening.
It's just the aliens. I finally watched Nope yesterday, so maybe there's an alien up here. Yeah, I know. Jean Jacket is out there. There's a storm, like I told you, so as long as it doesn't start raining blood or pennies, we're fine. But you were saying about Joe dehumanizing Ellie through their journey.
Yeah, and we're starting to see that, and I think the end of the fifth episode is, a little bit, but we'll get to that. So
let's jump to the episode 4. They crash the car into this convenience or laundromat, I guess. Hell breaks loose. He has to kill 2 people, and then she has to come and save his ass, basically, and just kill someone or just shoot them in the back. And I love also because Joel is still a parent, telling her, just go back. Go behind the wall. You don't need to see this. Didn't say thank you for saving me, but you're too young to have to deal with this.
Those father instincts are still there, and even if he wants to repress them, he can't.
Which then come back at the end of episode 5 when he tells Henry and Sam, "Hey, I'm probably gonna have to walk all the way to Wyoming, but if you guys want to come." But the whole episode 4 was great. We get, I don't know, I think they say the name. I don't remember, those Kansas City Marauders or Mercs, whatever they were.
I can't remember their names, but they basically liberated a quarantine zone, and the leader is Kathleen.
All right, which I heard is not in the game.
No, so that was interesting. Number one, this takes place in Pittsburgh in the game, and not in Kansas. And I like the change because there's a big jump in between this section and the next one time-wise. And making it in Kansas City, it helps bridge that gap and not be that huge. So I actually like that change, and it really works the same way. Like, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, the setting doesn't matter for the story, but I'm guessing
Yeah,
the Henry and Sam storyline is still part of the game.
that is a part of the game, but it's interesting because they integrated it to the quarantine something in the show. In the
Mhm.
game, they're just passing by and get caught up in
Okay.
this hellhole, and they catch up with Joel and Ellie. But it's in that sense it's different. I actually like what they did. They gave it more of a storyline, and I've listened to the creators talk about like, hey, we can't just make them like in the game because they're just there for you to kill them. We have to
Yeah.
flesh out these characters, even if they're the bad guys. And something I think you guys will see with The Last of Us, with very few exceptions, each villain could be a hero, and not in the sense that every villain is the hero in their own story. Like, no, they're
Yeah.
villain because they're in our character's way. That's the only reason. If we were in their point of view, Ellie and Joel would be the bad guys. Like,
Yeah, which I also love that they haven't shied away from it. Every time that they
no,
come back to Joel, I've done bad things. I've been on both sides. When she, oh, how did you know that he wasn't hurt? I've been on both sides. So we did what we need to do to survive. And then after, if you see the preview for episode 6 next week, there's something there also. What we did, we had to do to survive to get to the point that we are. So very easily they could be the villains from someone else's point of view. But we have Kathleen. There's something underground. There's zombies down there. Uh, but yeah, pretty good episode. They're hiding. They keep with the jokes, which I love. And Henry and
I love
Sam
the
show up.
whole. I love the whole thing that Joel's going deaf. Like,
Hmm.
and they actually play it in the 4th episode when they arrive. He's like laying on his
Yeah.
left ear, and his right ear is the one, and he can't hear anything.
Hmm. Let's just jump to episode 5, the one from yesterday, which was just a knockout from the beginning all the way to
It
the
was
end.
great. It's great.
It was all the way. I don't even know where to start. So we go a little bit backwards, learn a little bit more about Henry and Sam, where Kathleen is behind them. And like you just said, it's who's the villain, who's the hero. It's why is your brother more important than mine, right? And it's said word by word. Yeah, you basically kill my brother to save yours. I know we're going back and forth in terms of when this happens in the episode, but it's heartbreaking because why does she care? Like, she liberated Kansas City. Just let them go. But why? He killed my brother just so he could save his brother. Why is that more important? He's a kid. Okay.
And
Where's the line?
and again, if Kathleen had killed Sam, Henry would have gone after her.
Yeah.
So it's that same thing we just spoke about, and actually Lauren is also bringing up, like, there's no real villain. Like, yeah, Kathleen is not a good person, but I don't think she's evil per se. Like,
Yeah.
she has a point. Like, why does he get to live and mine doesn't? And,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah. And
but
it's again.
I'm getting ahead of myself, but I do love how they show, like, a path of evil and vengeance takes you nowhere, and you'll just end up eaten by a baby clicker.
Which is the creepiest thing ever. Evil
Oh,
babies or young kids are
creepy as-
creepy enough. And just the way she was contorting and flipping over inside the car, it just killed me.
I heard they got a contortionist to do that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I love then the behind the scenes after the episode when they show, there's special effects, but we also have to hire all this great. What's the name of the not Walker? I know the guy that choreographs everything. They had a weird name, like we hire a special, not contortion. Anyway, it's fun to see all those behind the scenes and that they have real people there to know how to move, like a movement expert or something like that.
Okay.
But I love they go through the tunnels. They find these look like a school or a daycare, but they created societies back down there, try to escape everything. And I'm like, that soccer ball is too filled up with air to be there for 3 years. I have kids, and after 2 months, you're just kicking something
You
with
leave it in the
nowhere.
garage, and
Yeah.
I actually love that they integrated this into the story, because in the game you go through those tunnels, you see the school, and you figure out what happened through notes and things you see.
Mhm.
And here it's a little bit more overt, but it's a dark moment in the game when you're going through there because it doesn't straight up tell you what happened. You just figure it out by
Yeah.
things that you see.
And it's a good break in the whole story, right? Let's give Ellie and Sam or Henry. Who's the kid is Henry, right?
No, the kid is Sam.
The kid is Sam. So to give Sam and Ellie a little reprieve from everything that's happening, they're still
That was
kids.
awesome.
Let them play for a little bit, soccer, draw, talk about comics. Let them kind of get away from the real world for a minute.
No.
But then it's not gonna be that easy. See, we made it to the other side. My plan worked. Just over the bend.
I have to confess something. So as I was watching the show, I was texting a friend and I was like, "Oh, they made it to the neighborhood. That was easy." In the game, they have to go through military. They have to go through zombies. They have to go through a sniper. And like 5 seconds later, the sniper. I'm like, "Oh, we're doing it."
Yeah. I mean, probably not put your oldest guy as the sniper. Was like 85 years old trying to snipe from 400 meters away. But
that was sad because in the game, the guy's screaming at you to taunt you. And here you get there, it's just this old guy who's like, "Yeah, this is my job."
Yeah, he's like, "Don't do it. Just give me the gun. Wait 5 minutes and just walk away."
1 hour. 1 hour.
Yeah. In TV time, that's 5 minutes. But I'm thinking here, okay, I watched the preview for this episode. I know the zombies are supposed to come out at some point, or the infected, I should say. I know the big guy's coming. I guess I don't know, but at the moment, I was engaged in the story. I wasn't thinking about it. So when we learned that he had a walkie-talkie, talking back to them on the radio, oh, we're almost there, and I love that scene because again, it goes back to the previous episode, or I think episode 3, when Ellie asks, how did they get all these cars out of the way? And he there's a special, like a tank or whatever that they use to just ram and get the cars out of the road. And we see that here when, there's too many cars. Oh, that's why you're up front. And she's just ramming everyone. And then Ellie, Sam, and Henry are running. Reminded me of Terminator 2 in Judgment Day.
Ooh,
when the T2 it just had the same feel. But then the zombies come and all hell breaks loose. So pretty interesting, because how are they gonna get out? I forgot that the zombies were gonna be there. So, but as soon as the car started falling into that sinkhole, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Kansas City, you're all dead now. Just a big action scene, nothing to break down apart from everyone dies. That's not all the hero.
They changed a little bit the bloaters, because in the game you have to fight them, and here's like, hell no. They just run away.
There's no way. It's like,
and actually you see the bloaters when you're with Bill in the game. So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I remember seeing from the trailer, I guess the bloaters, like they're called, come out. So I knew there was a big guy coming.
And by the way, they killed Perry in the same way they kill you in the game. They just like rip you open.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty disgusting. So I was waiting. Okay, Kathleen has to eat it. How is she going to die? And like you said, just a evil baby clicker gets her. Disgusting. But,
by the way, I heard there was some backlash on Melanie Linsky. Like, why? Like, she's awesome. I don't know.
So the only thing I've seen, and maybe someone in the chat might know more, what's her name? Some other actress or model that used to be on one of these reality shows came out after last week's episode and said, oh, where's Sarah Connor when you need her? She looks like she hasn't missed a meal or something because she's not a skinny warrior. So kind of body shaming. And then she came out, the actress for Kathleen came out and kind of shot back, like she's provide for her troop, or kind of defended what the character is, that she doesn't have to be the sniper kind of warrior woman to be out there.
The whole point is that she's a soccer mom, basically.
Yeah.
Like Brandon mentioned, she's a Karen.
Yeah. And I think that's the only not backlash to her, but the only kind of drama out there is because some model out there criticized the way that she looked for being in a post-apocalyptic world, even though she has all the resources to win.
I saw people basically attacking her for, she doesn't look the part. I'm like, I think that's the point.
But everyone in Kansas City looks like they've been well maintained. It's not like everyone's freaking just dying
I
there
mean,
and she's like hoarding all
it's
the.
not like Pedro Pascal looks like a skinny.
Yeah,
Come
same
on,
thing. So it's just
Ellie is
people like.
not like anorexic or anything. I don't know. It's so weird.
I think it's the same thing that, oh, why do we need a badass woman kind of action woman there in a show? She wouldn't be the leader.
I'll
Why are
ju-
they following her? Is something else that I saw.
I'll just say this: one of the many controversies of the second game was we did get a big, strong woman. But okay, we'll get
Ooh,
to that.
can't wait
We'll
for
get to that.
season 2 or wherever we get to it. But let's
Some
get
guys
to
are
the
not happy
motel.
with it.
Let's get to the ending. So everyone's happy. We made it out. We just gotta get Lauren. Love that Jeffrey Price, who plays Perry, got a great death with him being the voice actor Tommy. And oh yeah, I saw that also. That's from the
It's
previous
Tommy.
episode. Did you know that when you were watching it?
No, I learned it listening to the podcast in
Okay.
the HBO. It's great, by the way. If you guys are not listening to it, you should check it out.
Yeah. Sam is infected. Let's just get there. And it was hard. When I saw that, I got emotional at that point. I like, oh no. Again, as a parent seeing a kid go through all that and then he's gonna die. Something's gonna happen. And sad and funny at the same time when Ellie cuts her hand open and no, this works. I'm gonna save you. Here's some of my blood. And I'm like over here. I'm no doctor, but I don't think that's the way it works. You can just put your blood on it.
That was sad for me, knowing what was gonna happen. It was so sad seeing her like, no, my blood is magic. Look,
yeah,
it sucked. It sucked. It was a bit different because in the game, Sam doesn't tell anyone. Sam's a little bit older in the game, so it makes sense why here he would be like, hey, Ellie, look at this. But I hate that they do that. I hate it in a good way. Like
yeah. I thought that when they were fighting before that, one of them was gonna get. It's gonna be Henry. Henry's not gonna make it. Was my thought throughout the whole episode. But seeing that, I was like, oh crap! Now what are they gonna do? Because are they just gonna leave? I thought Henry and Sam would just you guys just go do your stuff and we'll stay over here. And then when she wakes up in the morning, he's just sitting, looking the other way. I'm like, did it work? Is he okay? Did he die? Maybe just sitting up, and then he just goes to be like, again, creepy things. I didn't expect his own brother to shoot him in the head.
I love the little detail where Ellie's talking to him and he can't listen to her. Yeah. He can't hear her. Because it goes back to what he asked her, like, oh, are we still in there, or do we turn into something else? And it's, in a way, it's still him.
That was talking about great writing. That little thing, are we still inside when we turn into them or something like that? Are we still us when we turn into them? Like, oh man, that's so heartbreaking. Again, coming from a 10-year-old maybe? It's
yeah, he's like 9, 10.
Yeah. So again, you popped into my head to Otis said things are gonna get worse, and it was bad. I didn't know what's gonna happen, how they're gonna get out of there once Henry grabbed the gun, because he's not gonna kill him. That's his brother. The whole thing is keeping him safe. And then I hated that he had to take his own life, because that's what his purpose was, to keep his brother safe.
I love how that plays out, because Joe reaches for the gun and Henry's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, no. And again, it's a sad world they live in, and horrible things will continue to happen.
Yeah. All right, Oti. So take us to the ending. They're burying the bodies. Ellie leaves in the note saying sorry and everything.
There's a little detail here that I love that they change also from the game. In the game, when Henry kills himself, we cut to black. I think it's summer, and we jump to fall. So a couple months have passed.
Okay.
When we catch up with them. And there's a moment where Ellie tells Joe that she wished they had done a burial for them, or something like that. They say like a burial, and she comments on that. And Joe's like, we don't talk about this. We're not going to talk about Henry. We're not going to talk about what happened. And Ellie is pushing like, no, we have to talk about it. In here, it's a little bit different, because Joe's doing the grave, and Ellie's just like, let's go. Let's go. So it's what I mentioned. They're showing how she's getting dehumanized. And I think seeing that she was unable to save Henry, she fell asleep. The blood didn't work. I think it's working on her. I think she's starting to think, what if this whole mission is for nothing? What if I can't help anyone? And I've mentioned this before. Joel and Ellie, for me, they're the same person. And I think she's starting to turn into Joel. The first person she cared for, she wanted to protect, she wanted to save, she couldn't do that. And those things are going to start working on her, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, like we just said before, like Joel is starting to soften up and open up a little bit more to what could be if Ellie is really this chosen one. And now if she turns and in the way that she closes herself off to the world, to there's no hope out there, it's gonna affect her. I think it's gonna affect him also, as I can't lose her now, even though she's cargo. It's all those memories are coming back, and I love, like I said, I watched the creators talking at the end, and Bella Ramsey talking about that scene. That's her superhero scene, right? She's trying to say, hey, I'm the chosen one supposed to save him. Here, this is my chance to do something. And it doesn't work. And it's like you just said, that kind of brings her down another level to what is all this for? Maybe I'm not as special as everyone is saying. So it's going to, again, it's been a great series so far. Can't wait to see where it's going to take us next.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. And something else, I think Joel's starting to feel something for Ellie. Like, I don't know if he's gonna like accept it right away, but I'm thinking he's. You mentioned he's starting to open up, but I think it's too late for him. I think he's hooked on Ellie.
Now we gotta wait a little bit more, like 10 days for the next episode.
I'll say this: there are some things in the trailer for the next episode that I was surprised to see, because some things that don't show up until the second game. So
okay, and I'm not gonna go into the trailer for next episode just in case some people stay away from it. I'm surprised that we're there already. That what's happening, it's happening. I thought it was gonna happen later on in the series.
And it looks like winter, right?
Yes, there is. No, say that it is winter because there was snow. I'm surprised we're there already. I'm like,
it's in the game, that part happens in fall. It's interesting.
Yeah, so it's gonna be great to see when this comes back. Not tomorrow, unfortunately. Next Sunday.
No, yeah. That's kind of the hard part of getting it earlier. But it's fine.
Yeah. All right, that brings an end to our talk on A World Between Fandoms. Oti, another great show. We're going to start saying goodbye. But before we do, thanks to everyone in the chat today. Lauren, thanks for joining us. Lauren, we need to have you back over here soon with Mando, most likely. Even Visions. Thanks to Dale and the other Dale that was also here.
Dale twice.
Brennan, of course. Obviously, Subdued, Emotional Evolution. Everyone that joined us today, thanks for being here. Hopefully you hit that like button. Anyone else that's also watching that's not on the chat, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. We'll be back next week with another fun show. Maybe we'll throw a special topic now that we don't have The Last of Us to talk next week. We'll think, but we have a lot of great guests hopefully joining us soon. We'll be dropping those news in the coming weeks, I hope. Oti, where can people find you? What are you doing? You have your own podcast. Put all that out there.
You can find me over at Twitter, Instagram at EP Star Wars, whatever it says down there. I have my own podcast. I have not been active in a while, but I will soon. And Lauren may or may not be involved in something.
Ooh, there we go. All right, so check that out. EP Star Wars.
May the fungus be with you, Dale. May the fungus.
I saw this. Oh, that's so disgusting. All right, so thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week with more Star Wars on Radio Rebellion. So thank you as always. Stay safe, be safe, and may the Force be with you.